Like a brick oven though, so it's a little classier. Gets more texture.
You get the little with the pizza spoon or whatever it is.
The one that comes back from Italy. They got shit figured out over there.
All right, we're live.
Oh, okay. Hi. Well,
Retake.
happy Monday. Thank you for joining us for another exciting episode of You've Already Beat Gaming Podcast featuring your host, Locarthemanbeast. Oh, no. That was a bad idea. Also featuring me, the DjLobsterDust.
Well, hello. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
I'm done, dude. Ooh. Was that grape? Was that grape? Oh. That was weird. You spit a grape out. I thought it first. You know what I thought it was?
I didn't think it was going to inhibit my talking so much.
I got that. When you first put it in your mouth, it looked like. Do you remember the old root beer candy that looked like the barrel root beer? That's what I thought you put in your mouth, and it was hard sounding. So I was like, "Oh, he's got a hard candy going on."
I chill him.
Oh yeah, that's a good call. It's like a little snack, a little sweet snack. I feel like when I
don't want those fucking candies now, though.
Yeah,
those are fire,
dude. Those are so good.
Was it Barks? Was Barks the brand?
I had to have been. It had to have been. Yeah. Is that company still right? You know what's you know what's fucking crazy? I was reading this thing a while back. Out of all the like the Pepsi and Coke and all the battling and everything, root beer companies have been the only company that just like have a shaking sideline, like, we don't fuck with you, you don't fuck with us. Like, we're cool. And like nobody has a preference on, I mean, people have a preference on types of root beer, but nobody battles over root beer. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was going to say the exact same thing. Like, it's the America in a whole could take a lot from root beer, you know?
Yeah.
Like, imagine like if there was like a political system where it wasn't just like Pepsi, just whoever talks the most shit or digs up the most dirt, like that's who wins. Like, imagine if they just let them pick based off their character and policy.
It'd be weird.
Fucking wild.
Be wild. Be a different be a different place to live in.
Like, there's like what? Mug,
Barks,
A&W, Barks. Those are like
Daddy,
the three kings, if you will.
Is it Daddy?
Yeah.
Daddies?
Is
it Daddies?
Is it
Dads?
Dads?
It's Dads.
Dads. There's the almost niche like craft root beer brands and stuff like that, like IBC.
Yeah, okay. IBCs
and stuff like that.
Well,
what's that? Henry? What's the one with the old timey like mustache? They have like vanilla cream soda and like they have like
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
But there are definitely like the three.
What was the
superpowers?
What was the old school cream soda one? God, I cannot remember. I gotta look this up now. There was like one of those ones we're talking about, craft ones. I remember I fell in love with them because Chiodos was on their like blue raspberry soda or some shit like that, and I was like,
you talking about Jones?
Jones, yes, Jones, yeah.
They are still going, by the way.
Yeah,
still going strong.
Yeah,
those things fucked. I mean, that's the reason I went to Z-Pie in Placerville.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That's
they had all of the different fucking ones. You're like, I'm gonna get bubble gum. You're drinking something that you feel like you're chewing.
Yeah, yeah. God, Z-Pie. Fuck, I forgot all about that place.
It's closed down.
Yeah, well, I mean,
like I didn't expect it to really survive, but it was sad driving past it and being like, oh fuck.
There's a lot of places.
Not you too.
Do you know? Is that not Heidi's? What's the one right across the street from where Cosmic Cafe is? It's like that old school little
Sweetie Pies.
Sweetie Pies. That's it.
Is that closed down too?
No. That one's there. That one's still living. Yeah.
They're French toast, man.
Bro, Sweetie Pies has a biscuits and gravy that I would like. I'd shoot a puppy over.
Anything Sweetie Pies does, is fucking incredible, because it's not like, I'm still convinced it's not really it's not a real restaurant. It was somebody's grandma's house, and their grandma was just making food, and they're like, do you think we can put some tables and make some money off this? And that grandma's still fucking back there. Like, that's all it is.
Grandma's got dementia. No one's told grandma we turned it into a restaurant.
It's still Thanksgiving morning, grandma. Oh, our friends are over. Really dark.
Oh, man.
On fucking German World War II amphetamine. Just
cook those damn pies. Oh, man. See, those are some of the best restaurants, though. Like the small, like not just the hole in the wall ones where, like, you know, you kick a couple cockroaches out of the way to get to the, like, your table, but like the ones where the people who run it are all the family. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they've tried to sell it for years, but every time they go to sell it, it's like it's gone to someone, and then the family has somehow just still kept it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's almost been like an investment.
I'm pretty sure places like that, the only thing they get from like Cisco Foods are like pallets of eggs.
Yeah.
You know, everything tastes homemade because it is.
Yeah. And it's also one of those things too, when you realize you started eating homemade stuff, you like, your palate is like, does that taste right? Because then you realize it doesn't have all the extra additive shits and the sugars or the salts and
like
stuff.
The mouthfeel.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Or like when you chew it, you know,
or especially at places like Sweetie Pies where it's heavy breakfast. It's like country breakfast. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You leave not feeling like you need to die. You know what I mean? Like, you go to some places and you eat country breakfast and you're like, I'm so fucking full. Like, I hate my life. You can still leave there being like, I'm full, but I'm comfortable. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's like the equivalent of an entire biscuits and gravy is like one McGriddle. You're like, oh, this is good. It's fine.
Man, I used to love McGriddles. I still love a McGriddle. Like, you're not gonna.
I do love a McGriddle.
You're not gonna get me to not love a McGriddle. I started ordering my McGriddles with double cheese.
Mm.
Oh, they put a cheese on the top and the cheese on the bottom, the egg and sausage in the middle of it.
Mm.
And then
that does sound fire.
It is very good. But you know what the thing about it is like, I like sweet, but those things are too sweet.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Double cheese would help cancel that out a little bit.
That's what I was hoping for. But then it's like, then you get like kind of stuck on the double cheese and you can't eat it without double cheese. So if I ever,
and now I need double meat and double cheese.
And then next thing you know, you got a Big Mac.
Can I get Big Mac sauce? The old breakfast Big Mac? What?
Oh man, I could turn McDonald's breakfast around, man. Because it's the same thing like Taco Bell, man. It's fucking 5 ingredients. They just change, you know, in a different stacking order, and they call it something different. Man, could you imagine, like, I
think Big Mac was the last big McDonald's innovation, and all they did was just make a different sauce. You know, it's not like anything else has changed before or since.
No, I think once they introduced all the chicken stuff, you know, so McDonald's introduced like the Big Mac, chicken Big Mac. I wouldn't eat it. Have you ever?
On fire.
Is it?
It was surprisingly good.
Really? Because their regular chicken sandwiches are trash, dude.
Yeah, I know.
Trash.
They are. I don't know what it was. Like, I was going to Jackson to get Janica. She didn't have food or anything like that. So I was like, oh, I'll pick you up stuff. Her favorite thing is fucking just chicken nuggets and fries. She could like survive off that. Mm-hmm. And so like I went there and I was like, I don't really like anything from McDonald's. So I was like, I don't know what to try. I'll get this. I'm going home anyways. Even if I take a couple bites, I'm like, whatever.
Yeah.
I'll just eat when I get home. It was I took a bite and I was like, I don't know. I just wanted to try it, you know. Took a bite. it's not bad, you know. And next thing you know, it's gone. I was like, that was pretty good. It didn't taste like a McChicken.
Okay.
At all.
I think that's
and it's not the sauce or anything like that.
Right.
It's like they have beefier chicken for some reason.
Okay, so I'm okay with that. Again, I think we talked about this before. Like, McDonald's is fucking outside their lane. Like, I need dollar trash burgers from McDonald's. Like, I'm not going there for a gourmet meal. But at the same point, if you're going to innovate and do something different, at least make sure it's good. You know, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. But I just, the idea behind it, because I know their chicken sandwiches, man, every time I order a chicken sandwich from McDonald's, it's like 10 pounds of mayonnaise, a couple sprinkling. It's like sprinkling of lettuce, and it's just like the grossest chicken patty.
One slice of onion, but it's that like overly round part always.
Yeah, it's the top end.
Yeah.
It still has
really fucking thick.
Dude, for some reason it's always got like a weird skin on it. So when you bite it, you pull and it's like oh.
Yeah. A little green on the outside. See, McDonald's, yes, you go there for like $1 burgers. They're not $1 burgers anymore. No. You get like McNuggets, fries, and like a burger. It's like $30.
Yeah, dude, it's wild. And that's what I'm saying.
I don't care about the quality if the price point aligns. But man, when I walk out of there, I'm like, I could have gone to fucking like Five Guys
anywhere else. Yeah. And I think that's the idea behind it, is like all the rest of the franchises started like pumping up a little bit. Like you got, you know, Chick-fil-A and all the other places. And it's like, I understand why McDonald's is trying to like take that step in another direction, but it's also like the people that are going to McDonald's they're poor, they fucking hate their life, or they're hungover, right? Like there's nobody with a fucking suit and tie is like, we should go eat at McDonald's today. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like our next board meeting's at McDonald's, and you know, everybody's in the playpen.
Get fucking Steve from accounting out of the ball pit. I think McDonald's doesn't realize that they are the Del Taco of their like sector.
Yeah.
Like they want to be like, oh, we could kind of get away with like Chick-fil-A prices, right? We can kind of do that, but they don't realize like they checked on Del Taco. I'm pretty sure they still have like 99-cent burritos, and like that. I even with inflation, I think they're probably still pretty close to like what it used to be.
Man,
my mouth feels gross just thinking about Del Taco.
Del Taco is bad. I miss Taco Del Mar.
Oh,
dude, Taco Del Mar was so good, dude. Their cheese quesadilla and their guacamole, still to this day, is the best cheese quesadilla and guacamole combo I've ever had anywhere in my life.
Taco Del Mar was like what Chipotle should have been.
Yeah, absolutely. The last, after they all closed down, the last one that was still alive was 5 minutes from my dad's house in Hawaii. I'd fly out there and I was like, I'm gonna go to Taco Del. My dad's like, what? Well, I mean, like we can get anything. I was like, no, I gotta go here. It doesn't exist anymore. Like the last one in California was in San Francisco, and then that one shut down. And then the last one that was alive was Taco Del Mar. I remember one day I went there, they turned it into some fucking
fly to Hawaii for Taco Del Mar.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I would get off the plane and I remember I would get a fucking taxi from the airport to Taco Del Mar and just tell my dad, come and pick me up here. My dad was just like, well, I mean, we can come anywhere. It's like, no, that's fine. You'll meet me here because I got to get this cheese quesadilla and guacamole. And then they shut it down. It turned into some like weird teriyaki burger place. And I remember the first day, it was last year or a couple years ago. I can't remember. It was a couple years ago, maybe even quarantine time. But I got off the plane, went there to go get food, and it was a fucking, I almost just, you know, I was so angry. Oh, it hurt my heart. Until I haven't had lunch, food is on my brain, dude. I'm hungry.
That's why I got a bowl of grapes, dude. I was like, what do I fucking have that I can snack on real quick? Nothing.
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing.
I finally went shopping for groceries because I was like, I haven't really been shopping for groceries, saving some money and stuff like that, and just kind of living off of what I had. I've been fucking, I feel like it's like pre-World War II. I'm like, just, you know, what are we having today?
Leave, come back. What is that? It's just a can of olives.
What? Yeah, dude, swear to God, man. I'm just in full depression time. I'm just heating up flour and sugar in a pot.
Making gruel and tack.
Yeah, exactly. I did. I lived like 4 or 5 days off of like oatmeal. I had like a bag of brown sugar. I've got some butter and like a little bit of honey. And I was like, cool, I'll just make oatmeal and I'll just make brown sugar. And it was fucking fire, dude.
I'm not mad at oatmeal at all.
No, dude.
I love that shit.
And it's like, you know, I get like a bag of oats. So it's like just a bag of rolled oats and just fucking cook it on the stove. And it's fucking delicious. It's fine. But after like day 3 of that, I was like, man, I might scrape together some money and buy a pizza because I need something a little bit. And I went grocery shopping. Bro, it's outrageous. It's outrageous. I came home and I was like, I felt like I had a lot of good shit. Like there was enough bags that make me feel good. Still like $250. You know what I mean? And I'm like, what the fuck did I buy? And I'm looking at it. It's like, you know, maybe 3 nights worth of meals. I'm like, okay, well, most of it was vegetables and fruit. Like that's what fucked me the most is the vegetables and fruit.
Yeah.
Eggs, not terrible, but it was terrible. And like I had to get stuff like butter and shit like that. And I was like, God damn, that's where all that money went. Then I started
quick.
Bro, I was looking at my receipt, right? Because I bought like, you know, cornflakes and shit like that. Just, you know, stuff to have like snack wise. That was actually the cheapest stuff that I bought. If I just bought fuck you food, like the stuff that I know I'd put on, you know, 60 pounds, 100 pounds. Dude, I could live off of like $40 a month. You know what I mean? It's wild. It's wild. But it's like I wanted to like eat semi-healthy. Not like I was like, oh, organic and like this was, you know,
just so you don't feel like shit at the end of the week.
Yeah, exactly. Like, or just nutrients that my body needs. I would like to have vegetables so I don't have to fight a turd at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Like sorry that you're staring at the gloves. You're like, I can dig this motherfucker out. I can do it.
Oh, God.
But again, it's one of those things where now I just like most of my diet consists of food that I can make myself, where like I don't buy anything that is like preservatives or pre-made stuff. Like when I do my noodles, I roll my own noodles, you know, stuff like that. So I don't have to worry about just because like, buy a box of pastaroni, that's one meal, but the same price of that could be for a fucking bag of flour and you just roll your own noodles. You know what I mean? So
you fucked me up, dude.
What, the digging the turd out?
Yeah, I just had to sit in a room and wait for that to finish.
Yeah.
When I went back up to Reading this last week, they're like, we're just getting out an impacted stool. What? Yeah. Give us just like 5 minutes. I just sat there while they're.
Oh, the worst part about the impacted stool too is that what you don't realize, because they've been feeding you fucking laxatives for like 2 or 3 days, because they're like, oh, this
plugs out.
Oh, and that's what it is. It's just it's a plug, dude. It's a plug. It's a you just pop that sucker. It's like fucking taking the end of a water balloon off.
All right. Gaming. That's gaming.
What is gaming?
I might throw up. I do not feel well anymore.
Yeah, you kind of got bailed.
The grapes and my fucking olives are over there.
Grapes and olives?
Yeah, it's salty and sweet.
That might be the combo. Could you imagine all the vinegariness from the olives and the grape? I don't know if that's.
You can't knock it till you try it. Put it on a pizza. You love it. Listen. Gaming. God, I'm so annoyed, man.
Tell me.
I have nothing to talk about, right?
Yeah.
Nothing. Right. I got nothing.
Okay.
My brain just isn't fucking firing.
Gotcha.
But while I was in Reading, I had a lot of things to talk about. I was like, oh, there's a good talking point. I should write this down. I should have wrote it down. Didn't. Carry the show.
I have not. I haven't touched Tarkov. I haven't played games. No, I take that back. I have played games, but I haven't like done group games and anything. Like a week. I've been so busy. I've been just like busy trying to get things done. I've got a bunch of 7 days that are out. Like today, the Horde Night went live for day 14. Like I kind of been doing a little bit of that. I kind of got stuck playing Final Fantasy 14 again. Just a little bit while I had some free time. I've just been grinding and just playing because the new patch is supposed to be coming out soon. Just trying to get myself like geared up and ready to go for the new patch. But I don't know, man. Nothing has been like overly entertaining to like look at. I wanted to get back into Tarkov, but I was like, every day I go to the subreddit and there's just someone else bitching about the event. I'm like, it's okay. I'll wait.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm over. See, we'll talk about gaming. Tarkov, fucking, the event was fine, right?
Sure.
If it was like, I'm glad that they, I guess, put a little bit of effort into it. I think it might have been a little. I think you hit the nail on the head where, at least for other ones, you had to do it at night, so you had the option of at least running other raids. The fact that like everything stopped for just the event, I feel like is horse shit. Yeah. I also think you can't give us, if you're doing an event, you can't give us 2 a day.
Yeah,
because you do 2, even if it's on like a timer, 4 hours, 8 hours, even. Like let us try to move at a pace, because like I only had 2 days before I went back up to Reading. So I got 2 days of the event done, 3 days of the event done. I got the quest, but it's like I'd spend probably like one day I spent like 8 hours, but most part it's like 2 hours and then I'm probably done.
Yeah.
And then I have to wait another 24 hours. I can't do fucking anything else.
I agree.
It's not worth going to labs and losing all of your shit over and over again. That's the only thing you can really do is labs. Everything else,
it's just way too chaotic. I will tell you that the best way to do an event like this is you've got a lot of maps. So rotate the maps for infection daily. You know what I mean? Because that would be the best. It's like, okay, well, I can't go to customs today, but I can go to Lighthouse. You know what I mean? So that way you can kind of refocus back in on doing other shit. But then when the entire map it's a randomized event where it's like, you know, they kind of took it like that, almost like Helldivers in a sense, where it's like, well, now this map's cleared out today because you guys did good. Like, come and jump in here. It's like, yeah, but no one wants to run factory. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, you know, it's kind of just chaotic. I like the idea of the event for a few things. I like the idea that Tarkov can be a consistently changing thing where maps can get fucked over by certain things, where on your day-to-day playing schedule, something you can log in and find out, oh fuck, dude, I was gonna knock out a bunch of like shoreline stuff, and now that map is kind of fucked today for zombies, radiation, whatever the fuck it comes out to.
Yeah, you
can kind of play around it. Well, I can go in there, but I might have some issues. You know what I mean? It's like it kind of adds another element to the game, and that's totally cool. I think that that's a respectable way of doing this game, especially if after nothing has really been new or introduced except for live with like ref and stuff like that, but like missions wise are all pretty much the same shit, like the same grind, like, you know, however many wipes we're at now, it's like the same consistent thing every now, to the point where people just like, oh, I know that I need this fucking one item 17 quests down, I'm just gonna save it. You know what I mean? There's not enough that like changes the day-to-day Tarkov grind. The monotony of that questing,
especially once you get past like 40.
Yeah, once you've got max traders, it's kind of like you're just kind of playing to play. You know what I mean? But if you introduce new things onto the map like that, you know, new different types of like the events where there was different types of the same bosses, that was cool. You know what I mean? For the cultist thing. You know what I mean? Having some type of variation that kind of spawns around instead of just, oh, well, you could run into goons here on this map, or you could run into goons here on this map. If you gave a little bit more variation, or it changes a little bit in that sense, like, oh, fucking, if you go to this mission or go to this place, mortars are striking this day. You know, not every map, just this one map. Oh, but if you also go to this map, there's high radiation or zombies or something. You know what I mean? In a sense where it's like, oh, you kind of have to pick and choose. It might slow down progression a little bit, might give people a little bit more time to kind of like get into it. But then that also coincides with you can't wipe every fucking 6 months.
Yeah.
Because if you can...
Now, how did the event end? Do you know?
Is the event done? I have no idea. I haven't...
Yes.
It is?
I think today the event's over. I left at you kill 25 zombies headshots with a shotgun, and then you find the cure. Oh, I was wondering, because they had, you get in, you kill zombies, you investigate the lab, like all that shit. About day 2, infected Tagila was running around, and then all of the infection was high everywhere. All the scabs wouldn't attack you because it was just everybody's fighting against this. Rashala became a fucking good guy for a second because he helped clear out a map. But people were kind of hinting oh shit, we might have all the bosses are infected because of the zombies. That would have been kind of cool.
Yeah,
I think.
True.
But I never got to see the end of it,
I know that the infected Tagila thing was because he had a different voice line or different voice lines or different things he was doing.
A monster. He was purple skin.
Yeah. So I also
special loot.
No, but you also have to keep in mind that means that they had to code, design, and make that happen. Do you think they were going to do that for every boss?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I mean, ideas are cool, and I think that they can grow off of this idea. This event just fucking killed my whole drive at Tarkov. I was just I just have no.
Last Halloween event was sick.
That was
this one,
Zerachi or whatever. Fucking
infected Zerachi, and if you didn't kill you would see the spire shooting up into the sky, and you would have to. Everybody would sprint over there, even if it was just sort of because you could still do regular quests, know. And all you had to do, if you saw that, you're oh, fuck. Everybody would band together to kill the cultists so they couldn't get Zerachi. Because once Zerachi's on the map, it's you either exfil or he's hunting every single person down.
Right.
So at least, there was this cool, everybody bands together and they try this. And, it kind of became, a PvP paradise. But you could still run shit during the day and get, your quest done.
Sure. Yeah, again, that's another one. You've got day and night cycles. So, it's so easy to swap it up. Daytime, very low infection. Nighttime, very high infection. You know what I mean? Do anything. But again, I think more or less at this point, it's literally them just testing the waters for things, which is totally fine. I think it's respectable that a game that is like this adds new things, even if those new things that they add are dog shit. You know what I mean? Because it means that they're trying to do something, and that's okay, because you could be Star Citizen where you just keep producing the same shit over and over again, and you're but we introduced a new ship, and it's well, that's cool, but the game doesn't run, But so, like I said, I think the positive of that is it was not well received. It had a good idea, make some changes. The difference is, can Nikita pull his own dick out of his ass long enough to see that people didn't like it and then implement something different and make changes?
I think
now they just need a fucking Thanksgiving event where it's just a giant turkey that runs around the map. It's just a big fuck off. It's just a Tyrannosaurus Rex sized turkey.
Like that fucking 7 Days mod where the chickens are half the size of a house and they have the pathing of a lion or something like that. just one of those running around. I think I'd like to think that Unheard Edition and all the fallout that came with that kind of humbled them in a way.
Sure.
And they've kind of, even if you just look at the way Nikita looks.
Yeah,
because you look at beginning Nikita, and then you look at how remember the Mohawk,
and
he's oh yeah, get more you broke piece of shit, when people were complaining about his game, and then he's oh shit, we have real consequences, people don't like us anymore. I feel he kind of got humbled a little bit when you saw him. Well, he had a lot more gray hairs.
Well, I also have to imagine, and I don't necessarily think that this is 100% the case, but I have to imagine whatever war is going on over there too has put them in a position of not knowing what their future will be. You know what I mean? So it's at the point of being well, you could continue to be a piece of shit, but if the rest of the world is not happy with you, the least you could do is make a good game that people kind of forget about,
Yeah.
But that's it, man. They ain't shit out, dude.
Can you imagine? That's the only thing keeping them from being sent to front lines to go fight against Ukraine. Putin's I didn't like this patch. Yeah, I'm sorry. We will work on it, my friend. This is the only thing keeping my sanity, and I didn't like your event, Nikita. We'll call right away.
You know, we were fine for a minute, but a large population of the American community was really pissed off about this last patch. Like, oh man. Oh, fucking hell. Good times. Good times. You know what I want to get it? This is, I don't know. This is like my brain change for like things like music. This is the ADHD in gaming. I want to play a turn-based JRPG. Like a real slow down, get into combat, take the time to like click through menus, to like pick and choose like attacks and stuff like that. Like a real traditional old school Final Fantasy like
Final Fantasy 7.
Yeah, like an old school JRPG. Now, I've got a couple on the list I've been looking at. There's like a Star Ocean game that came out recently that I think what has grabbed me mostly about this is it's a remaster of a very, very old game, like a 90, I think it was 91 or 97. I can't remember what it was. Star Ocean. It's like the second game or whatever. But the way that they've remastered it, it's not just like a normal remaster. They like kind of like redid it, and like the art style is really fucking cool. So the whole world that you play in, it's kind of like not top down, but like that, you know, ARPG style, like camera where it's kind of like pulled back a little bit. The whole world is 3D, like good graphical 3D, but all of the sprites are still like 3D 2D sprites, like in a sense it looks like old traditional. So everything
like pixelation.
Yeah, exactly. So everything on the map still has like that very old school JRPG pixel vibe to it, but the rest of the world that you play in has got like this really updated new 3D like look. It's really cool. So a couple games have done it in the past, but not to this extent. Like there was one that was like Octopath Traveler did it really well, where like the whole map itself was like higher resolution, and then like the sprites themselves were a little bit more pixelated, and it looked cool. But this game took it to the next level, and I've just like, I feel like that has like grabbed my attention art style wise. But then I was like kind of like, all right, well, let me watch a little bit of the game, because people, you know, you can go on YouTube and find it. It's like, oh, let me see if the story is fucking slow. It's like, you know, one of those like games where it's like 45 minutes of like talking cutscenes, but you're not actually doing anything. And I'm like, I don't know if I have that
patience for that.
I don't have the patience for that either. But I do want
that, and its turnstile.
I'm okay. I'm okay.
I've been playing for 5 hours.
Yeah, I haven't left the city. But you know, a lot of people have said that specifically. Once you get through the 2-hour like prologue tutorial time, the game's amazing. It's like, man,
once you can't return on Steam anymore.
Yeah, and that's
really
and that's another one too. I don't think it's necessarily for Steam because it launched everywhere, but like that idea is like,
yeah,
can I mentally get through 2 hours of bullshit to then enjoy a really good game? You know, I played fucking World of Warships for God knows how many hours. I'm sure I could do that.
Yeah, but see, is it 2 hours of me getting through a tutorial? Why is it that like 2 hours of me getting through a tutorial or something like that, or like just getting to like the meat and potatoes of the game is impossible? But I'll sit in Discord for 2 hours with my friends just trying to get into a match, and at least we're bullshitting and talking, and we're like, oh, this game fucking sucks. But like, when you get in and like you have like the fun behind it, well, it's the same thing, I guess. If you let me do a co-op tutorial and get through it with my friends, and I can bitch with them about it, it's a lot less cumbersome than just like one person has already done it, they're waiting in menu for you, and you're just trying to scream through shit.
Well, I think we've said that a million times, right? Gaming is always better with friends. You can play the most dog shit fucking game, but if you're playing it with friends, it just makes it that much better. Yeah, maybe that's another big thing. Oh man, because so Stalker 2 comes out the end of this month. November 20th. It's right around the corner. I tentative. We don't know. Is it going to come out? I think that at the last, I don't think that they can hold it any longer. I think that
they've announced it on Game Pass.
I know, and they got Microsoft,
what its release date
Microsoft behind it and everything. And I think a lot of it too is the game is, they just did a couple weeks ago, they did like a 20-minute demo that people could play and stuff like that. And it was actually, looks good. I don't know if it necessarily looks like old Stalker. Definitely doesn't have the gamma feel to it or like the anomaly feel for the mod, but it definitely has its own identity where it feels very Stalker-like. And I think I'm okay with it. One of the things that's in that game, or they're advertising at least, is that there's multiplayer. Co-op, multiplayer, whatever it comes out to. just no information on it at all. You know what I mean? You're looking at it being like, so what are you offering? What is going to be the co-op aspect of it? Because I would love to play a co-op Stalker campaign. That would be fucking great.
What we would like to, we're really excited to announce, right? We're bringing co-op multiplayer to our game. Can you expand on that? Silence.
Walks on stage.
Anything? Yeah. any kind of information that excites me.
What do you need to know? I said co-op multiplayer. Yeah, but what does that entail? It means playing with people. Yeah, but what does that mean? It means you'll be able to play this
PvP. Is that PvEVP?
Exactly. And so it's really interesting because Stalker is a very unique game where at least old Stalker, Anomaly, Gamma, things that have existed in this time period. A decision made in Stalker can affect a lot of different things. You can have missions where you can take missions from people and those people can go out in the world and die and you would never be able to turn that mission in. You know what I mean? Shit like that exists. It's completely its own world where it's got
those Elden Ring consequences.
It really does. Where it's like, it's so funny where like I'll be playing Gamma or whatever and I'll be trying to get a mission done and nominally a pop-up and then like you get like a thing that pops up on your screen like mission failed or whatever. And it's like, oh, that fucking asshole couldn't go indoors. Like, how's that my fault? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it is
like Elden Ring, that guy, he's in like Caelid and he's the one that tells you to get the golden needle and go like save his daughter at the chapel and stuff like that. Yeah. Going to turn in the last leg of the mission and a dog just walks up and just rips him apart. Like, what?
Had that dog following you into the shed? That's right. Yeah. God. And that is what it is. Like when something like that happens, you don't even realize that NPC was so important later down the road. But that's also what makes multiple playthroughs so dope. So it's like I could see how fucking cool that could be in a co-op experience where, you know, you're fighting a lot of times. Like you get, you know, groups of people to follow you into a battle or whatever. Like, oh, we got to take out this bandit camp or whatever. You could accidentally tag someone in the head. I've multiple times, like quest givers have been with me. I've just got like a shotgun or something and go to pull and they just run in front and quest failed. Like, God damn it. Reload to save, you know?
Okay. So you can't reload the save.
Well, in single player, yeah, of course you could, but how does that work? Oh, yeah. Co-op, you know what I mean? So like that
some dickhead just like looking for party, go in, just fucking kill everybody, quest givers, and just all right.
Yeah. So
load out of theirs.
That's why I'm hoping that the co-op experience is like invite only. There's no like open match lobby type of thing. Like I can't imagine, you know, there's gonna be like a PvP arena for Stalker. That doesn't really seem like something that would make any sense. I mean, it could be cool, but like again, that's not really, I don't know.
There's no originality in gaming anymore.
Well, I mean, Stalker.
They could say,
yeah, that's a good point. There's not.
They could say, man, Tarkov's doing good. We should steal some stuff from them.
Well, Tarkov was originally designed as from Stalker. It was like it was its own entity or like idea and mod in a sense from Stalker that then turned into a PvP co-op game. So it's like I could see the back set of that on the Stalker side and then wanting to do something like that. And that'd be totally cool. A truly PvE co-op experience in a Stalker universe would be so sick, but there's just no information. And we're fucking 2 weeks away from launch. It's the 8th today. You know what I mean? The 13th. I don't know what's Monday, but the fact is like that's not much time left. And if you sold it with that on there, you gotta offer it, because if not, that comes into a lot of problems. Now there's a lot of
a 1.0, or is this just like beta release?
This is a 1.0 launch.
Full 1.0.
I'm assuming there's going to be some
hats off to you for in this day and age for doing a 1.0 launch.
Not only that, but giving
us 10 years of beta.
Getting a 1.0 launch done in the middle of a war.
Yeah.
You know? And so I think the cool thing about the Stalker community is they're diehards. They are the original From Software Dark Soul fans. They're original like Hideo Kojima, like Metal Gear Solid fans. You know what I mean? These are the people that have been following this game since its initial relaunch in 2001 and like can stand behind the game knowing that it's as much love as it's given. So I know that with this launch, it's going to be rocky. There's going to be bugs. It's going to be one of those games where it's going to be very messy. Things are not going to work. Even when they did because I watched a huge documentary that they did, and they showed it at like, I think it was a Gamescom in like Germany or something like that. And like, as Gamescom doors were opening and stuff like that, devs were like fixing bugs right then and there to show people stuff. And like at one point, Phil Spencer from Xbox had shown up and they were like, oh, we should go in and talk to him. And Phil Spencer was like looking inside and seeing like them like frantically trying to fix bugs. And he was like, we should just let them work, and then turned around and walked away. And it's like one of those things where it's like, you know, they're having a tough time getting it all together. So I know it's going to be one of those. I just hope that people, our day and age of reviews and people like that, can take the good with the bad and the bad with the good. You know what I mean? Like I want them to, I would hope people would give certain things chances, but then at the same time, how do I swing that pendulum back towards me where it's like, you know, Nightingale is a perfect example of like something that you stood behind wanting it to be good. And it came out and they came out saying it's not going to be good because it's early access and we still shit on them. Why is it okay that Stalker gets the pass?
Well, one, I think I personally give more leeway to somebody who has the balls to go for a 1.0.
Okay.
As opposed to early access. Everybody that did the playtest for Nightingale, except for I feel like people who were paid to say this is great, said you should let this fucking cook more. You should work on this. You should do that before releasing as early access. And I think early access has tainted the experience because we're used to like these perpetual, like endless early access things where they're like, oh, we're going to get a 1.0. We're going to get this. I think if you have the nuts to like bet on yourself and release a 1.0 and you have a dev team that's like, we're going to fucking really try to crank shit out because there's like a finality to that 1.0.
Now,
like,
there's also another big point about that too, where, you know, Stalker 2 got some help from Microsoft to push through. It's a lot easier to get a 1.0 when you're not actually truly indie. You know what I mean? Nightingale did it all themselves. Yeah. So like when you release it early access, you're not necessarily releasing it early access because you're just, well, most people do, but like I have to imagine some people don't do this in a sense where like we're not trying to scam it as much as we're just trying to generate some income because we're fucking drowning, you know?
Yeah.
Because I went back and played Nightingale's newest update and it's not bad. Actually, to the point where Nightingale, as Nightingale is, what I
hear that, Aaron.
When I originally played Nightingale, I was like, it's so cool. The concept is so cool. The game is just fucking boring and slow, right? The new update is so cool with all the new things that they did, the way that the crafting works now, the way that you can do certain things, just like the monotony of the game that felt really bad has been fixed. But the game still feels kind of fucking slow. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so I don't know if that's something that you can change. Once a game, and especially when it comes to survival crafting games, right?
Yeah.
The very first beginning point of a survival crafting game has to be fucking not so fast that you can't grasp it, but you got to be able to like start doing stuff immediately. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like Ark is a good example of like you fucking scratch your arm, you stand up, and then all of a sudden there's a T-Rex in front of you. It's like, well, that was dog shit, but it's like that's also another thing. It might be dog shit, but it's also
a sense of urgency on the player.
Yeah, and the same thing with like 7 days. You know, you can start the game and fuck off, but at day 7, you're gonna have a horde.
Shit's coming regardless.
Yeah, exactly. So and the Conan Exiles is another one where it's like, you know, you can fuck off and play the game, but there's a mechanic in there where there's a sandstorm that blows through. If you're caught outside in a sandstorm and you don't have a shelter, you're gonna be fucked. You know what I mean? So like there is that sense of urgency, and it's not explained to you. You're not told, hey, prepare for a sandstorm. 7 days is kind of obvious, but like nowhere in the game does it also say, like, if you just saw 7 Days to Die, you didn't know anything about the game. Nowhere in the beginning portion of the game does it say on day 7 there's a horde.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You kind of have to just know that. You know, all of a sudden the number at the top turns red and you're like, what the fuck's going on? And then at nighttime, yeah, exactly. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, you're kind of prepping for something like that. And it, you know, it makes sense. But Nightingale just didn't have urgency. You could just farm for fucking 10 days.
Ever.
Yeah. Build an entire castle. And then it was like, oh, I guess I should do the tutorial mission. You know what I mean? There was nothing.
The only thing that you're really limited by is the resources and like the crafting tiers.
Which was also another thing. Yeah, you're absolutely right. But like, I started the whole beginning thing has been revamped. So you still wake up in like the cave thing or whatever, and you go through and you meet Pan
and
or whatever.
Guy comes out.
Yeah, he's like, who is? But then you get out in the world, and the first world that you get into, whatever your world is a little bit more tailored as a tutorial. It's not so much like it's just it's like you go down paths that like lead you to.
It gives you like a linear progression.
It's a very linear progression. Yeah, exactly. And then it gets you to a point where it's kind of like,
still takes hours.
It didn't take too long on this newest patch. It felt like you were kind of moving pretty quick through the tutorial, but then when you got to the point where it was kind of like, okay, this is the rest of the tutorial, but this is stuff that you can kind of do like on your own. This is the progression portion of it, and we're going to let you kind of progress. That's when the game started to slow back down again. And then it kind of got to the point where it was like, well, you kind of want to explore the map and see shit. And so you run around exploring the map, because that was my whole thing. I'm just going to try and find a dope ass vista where I'm going to set up my base. And so I ran around for a couple minutes and doing things. But as I was running around doing things, I got that same bug from when we played the beta, when we played the early access launch, was there's nothing here. No mobs. There's nothing to fucking do except for chop trees, which was dope. It was fine. I built a cool little cabin by a lake and stuff, and it felt cool. But like, as a survival crafting portion of it, it was like, well, that was the only thing that was kind of cool. You know, Icarus is another good one too, because you're not really battling so much of shit in the world. Like, yeah, you got like wolves and stuff to deal with, like horses and things that kind of attack you, but it's the elements that you have to deal with. You know what I mean? High winds that break the house down and shit like that, or like, you know, a lightning storm that'll like catch shit on fire, and then you got to try and fan out the fires and stuff. You know, some type of urgency of when you build your base, you have that crafting aspect of it. You're then hindered by keeping that base alive because the elements are fucking you up, and that's what Icarus did really well. And I think that's what's missing in the survival crafting genre, is not only just a sense of urgency, but the sense of your shit getting destroyed. That's I feel like is so upkeep. Yeah, not just like tedious upkeep, but like you got to pay attention to what you're doing. It makes you a better crafter, makes you building things a little bit better, it makes you think things through. You know, Conan does a good job at that, where like, if you don't set up your base in a good way, once you get your base to a certain size, bandits start to raid it. And so they'll destroy your whole base if you're not paying attention to it, you know? And it's like, or you could be out fucking off in the world, and all of a sudden you get that notification, you know, or just Valheim. Valheim's a good one like that too. You just be out in the world, and all of a sudden you know, goblins are attacking.
The wind's blowing.
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh, fuck, I'm nowhere near home. You know, I hope it's
everybody sprints back to try to help.
Exactly. You're trying to find that teleport just so you can get over, you know.
Valheim.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There are those games that when they do it really well, you know. And I think that's the capitalizing, because I've been looking at other survival crafting games. There's a couple of them that were out. It's like there's one that's like almost like a old, not old, but like ancient, like Roman or Greece times, or like, you know, the old Pantheon type of stuff, and like it's a whole game based around that. And I was like, that could be kind of cool, you know what I mean? Going to fight like Medusa and shit, like minotaurs and things. But again, early access, and there's not really much depth to it, you know? Like, it looks like it plays really well, but the depth of it doesn't feel good. It's like survival crafting games are like games you're going to sink hundreds of hours into. They got to have some fucking depth, you know? Ghost?
No, probably just the roof collapsing.
Cats getting into the garbage disposal.
Yeah, very well could be.
Yeah.
They're turning into a nightmare, dude.
At what point do you put them outside?
Oh, we're almost there.
Yeah.
I feel like they're almost to the point where my only concern
is winter.
No, they're cats. They'll be okay. There's plenty of places they can hang out. It's just I don't want them to get under that front porch and I can't get them out and they're just sitting there like, meh, because they don't.
Yeah.
Like their fight or flight has stopped and they're like, okay, I die here. You know?
Yeah.
Once they're to the point where like I can put out food and go like, hey, you hungry? And like as soon as they hear the word hungry, they all like kind of uniformly sprint to that because they know what they're going to get. I feel like now that that's there, I can probably get them out from wherever.
Have you started putting them out in that outside enclosure thing?
Yeah.
Okay, just to get them used to being outside.
I do a little bit just so they could like, the scents, the smells, everything like that.
That's good, man.
I hate to cut this short.
No,
I'm literally about to shit my pants.
Yeah, it's the grapes and olives. You shouldn't do that ever again.
Sweet and savory, baby.
It's a diuretic. All right, guys, enjoy your Monday. Love everyone around you except for the postman. Yeah. All right, we're out of here. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.